Okay, so in this video we're going to do some potential energy problems, and we'll remember that our potential energy equation, especially for potential energy of gravity, is PE grav equals mass times gravity times height. And so the PE grav of a coffee mug with a mass of 0.3, I'm going to assume that that is kilograms, that is on a countertop 1.0 meters high above the ground. So in this case, I will use my PE grav and the equation. My mass, it'll be 0.3 kilograms times 9.8 for my gravity. And then my height will be 1.0 meters. And therefore I get a PE grav of, let me put this into my calculator, 0.3 times 9.8 times 1.0. That gets me a PE grav of 2.94, and this is in joules. How high above the ground is a baseball with a mass of 0.15 kilograms that has a PE grav of 73.5 joules? Okay, so here again our equation is PE grav equals mass times gravity times height. And so here we have 73.5 joules as our PE grav times a mass of 0.15 kilograms times gravity. You know what, I'm going to undo times 9.8 for our gravity times our height, which is what we're solving for. And so if I put this into my calculator, that'll be 73.5 divided by 0.15 divided by 9.8. That equals 50. Let me do that over. 50. And that'll be in meters for our height. Suppose the mass of an object and its height above the ground were both to double. How would the object's gravitational potential energy change? So there are two ways to do these problems. The first way, and again, let's just restate our equation, PE grav is equal to mass times gravity times height. And so I can basically say, I can sort of just do something like this. PE grav would be 2 times the mass, because that's doubled mass, times gravity times 2 times the height. And that would basically equal PE grav is 4 times the regular mass times gravity times height. So basically, it would change by 4 times. It'll increase by 4. It'll quadruple. Another sort of example way to do this is to choose basic values. So if I do a PE grav equals m times g times h, and let's say I put in standard numbers here. Let's just put in a mass of 2 and a height of 1. Let's just do that. So my starting PE grav is equal to 2 times 9.8 times 1, and that's 2 times 9.8 times 1 is equal to 19.6. And if I end my PE grav and I double my, if I double my mass, so that'll now be 4, my gravity stays the same, and I double my height to be 2, what do I get? Now it's 4 times 9.8 times 2. I now get 74.4, and to figure out what those are in relationship to each other, I will do 74.4 divided by 19.6, And theoretically, I should get 4. And I do. I get about 4. So again, that proves that it's about 4 times the original amount.